Hey guys, so we're back with another deck profile. So this time I played Kid at my locals and I managed to get first place. Unfortunately, my local game shop ran out of tournament packs, so I don't have a winner pack opening to show you guys this time. But nonetheless, I wanted to share this list that I took. And I was pretty happy with my card choices. Yeah, I kind of played a little bit of everything just because I want to have like a more balanced matchup against all the different decks, because right now we have a pretty balanced metagame. I would say there are some favorites in terms of deck choices, but I think right now all the colors are pretty well represented. I just wanted to be able to do well against any opponent that I face. So yeah, so that's the deck list, and I'll go over each individual card shortly. First of all, I'm going to show the matchups. So in round 1, I play against Luffy. Round 2 against Kid, 3 Dolphy, and round 4 another Kid matchup. My round 1, it was pretty close. My opponent definitely had the upper hand against me early on. I was out, managed to stabilize, get my opponent to run out of cards, and kind of go in for the win. And Kid's leader ability kind of just lets you, stabilize the board and win out of nowhere because he gets 2 attacks in one turn, which is pretty crazy. So, and round 2 was actually very, very close. He got me down to 0 lives, and I was going in for the win. And he had 2 Dawn Up, and I thought he had Punk Gibson in his hand, but it turns out he was just bluffing that. So luckily for me, I was able to win that one. Round 3 against Doflamingo. This one was pretty much a stomp, unfortunately. Yeah, my opponent just could not get any of those, big blue 7k attackers on the board before I got my 8-cost kid, and after I got the 8-cost kid on the board, that was pretty much the rest of the game. Blue has a very hard time dealing with 8-cost kid because they don't have a really efficient way to get rid of it besides just attacking into it. So yeah. And round 4, it was against another kid player. This one was again very, very close. So this one I didn't have 8-cost kids. My opponent had 8-cost kid, but I was at least able to get the 7-cost kid, and I was able to kind of just swing with that every single turn. I was also able to develop an X-Drake, which 2 big attackers swinging to his 8-cost kid was good enough for me to seal the win. And yeah, he was actually almost about to be able to kill me, but because the 7-cost kid is also a blocker, he kind of prevented that last swing from being able to deal lethal damage to me. So yeah, those are my matchups, and I'll go over each individual card now. Okay, so now we have the deck profile. So let's start off with the leader, Kid. So he has probably the best leader ability in the game. So what he does is, if he's rested, you can pay 3 Dawn, and then you can discard a card and unrest them, so you can attack into your opponent's leader or character, use his ability, untap, and then attack something else. So this comes up very often in the late game when you're just trying to push for damage and going for the win. So it's a very strong ability. You're always threatening the 2 hits, whereas other leaders won't have that luxury. So very, very good ability. And next we have the 1-drops. So starting off, we have the 4 Kapong Gang Beige. So he's a 1-cost blocker, not too much to say about that. You want to use him to protect your Bonnies, and as well as your Eustace kid, the 8-cost kid later on. So it's a very good card and very necessary for the deck. And next we have more 1-drops. So I'm playing 3 Momos and 4 Bonnies. So Bonnie is probably one of the best cards in the deck. She helps you search for all your best cards, your boss monsters, your
your counters, anything you kind of need at the moment, she will get it for you. And if you can activate her multiple times while she's on the field, you're probably going to be in a really good position because you're able to get so much advantage off of her. Running 3 Momonosuke's, just because we're not running too many Wano country cards, and as well as Momonosuke, the cards that he searches aren't as impactful as Bonnie, so we don't want to activate Momo too many times so that we end up bottoming all of our good cards to the bottom of the deck. So, yep. So those are 1-drops. Next we have the 2-drops. So starting off, we have the 4 Nekomamushis. Running 4 of them. I see some people running 3. I think 4 is pretty good because he's your best counter to Okiku. If your opponent plays her early on turn 3, you can just rest the Okiku and then have your leader swing into it. Yeah, and pretty much against any like aggressive deck, he's also pretty good. Like if your opponent plays a Nico Robin or something, you really need to get rid of that off the board because green plays a lot of weaker characters early on, and then Nico Robin would be able to get tons of value if she's able to stick on the board. So Nekomamushi is a very good early game play, and as well as a late game play to just tap down your opponent's blockers and get rid of their problematic cards. Next we have 4 2-drop killers. Same thing with Beige. He helps you protect your Bonnies, your 8-cost kid. He also has the additional benefit if you attach a Dawn and you have 3 characters, you get to draw a card if he blocks. I don't use this ability too often. I would rather use the Dawn to hold up events or push more for more damage, things like that. But when it does come up, it's pretty nice. Only because his ability can be played around pretty easily. Like blue can bounce it back to your hand, green can tap it, red can kill it, so on and so forth. Yeah, but yes, it can still come up, and when it does, like you're feeling pretty good. You're drawing that extra card. But as a 2-drop blocker, he's pretty good at doing that, and he's also a 1k counter. And now for Okikus, she's definitely one of the stars of this deck. Very good early game play, very strong ability. Tap down your opponent's blockers, tap down your opponent's big threats when she attacks, and then you can swing your leader and get rid of whatever it is that you tap down. So pretty good. I'm running 4. I know some people don't run 4, they run 3 Okikus. I do like 4 because I just want to increase the chance of getting her really early. One of my matchups, it was against green, and I started off with turn 1 Beige and turn 2 Okiku, and that was very hard for him to deal with, and I got a lot of advantage from playing her. So yeah, playing 4 because I always want to see her early on. Next we have 2 killers, very good card. Just being able to deal with an opponent's threats. Very good at dealing with the 3-cost rush Zoro. If you attack into the Zoro and then your opponent counters, you can just use killer to get rid of it. And also, if you trigger this off of life, then you're in a really, really good spot because you just got to get rid of one of your opponent's characters for free, essentially. So pretty good. Next we have 2 Shachis, just more blockers. I typically don't play him, maybe just cheat him out with the 8-cost kid. But yeah, just not too much to say. He's just there to help you get more blockers. And the fact that he's 4k is also pretty relevant because it means that he can block the Shanks. And sometimes if you're playing against purple and you need to be more aggressive, you can also attach it up and then attack with them, which isn't too bad either. And next I'm playing just 1 Raizo. This is a card that I'm thinking about taking out. In theory, you can get some advantage in one of the grindier matchups, just attacking with it, drawing cards, feels pretty good. but I think I'd rather play something more impactful like Yamato or maybe another X-Ray. But yeah, this is the one flex spot that you can, you know, decide what to bring in or take out. And next, we're just gonna go with the whole suite of 2K counters. So 4 Ezos, 4 Apus, and 2 Beppos. So yeah, I'm running 10 2K counters. Ezo is the best one because she has a really relevant on-play ability. She can rest one of your opponent's characters with 4 or less, which is pretty good because you can rest one of those blue 4-cost blockers, and you're able to kind of like swing into for game. So yeah, I do like 10 2K counters just because green has a lot of cards that don't have counter on them, so having a good number of 2K counters kind of help you protect your board and as well as try to stay alive as well. So yeah, and also I've seen some lists that run 12, but I don't want to, you know, have my hand flooded with 2K counters, you know, so I think 10 is a good number. And next we have 2 Trafalgar Laws. He's a very good card to grab tempo. The best thing you can do is, you know, activate Momo or Bonnie, and then play Law, bounce Bonnie back to your hand, and play Okiku. So you're essentially playing, you know, 8 costs worth of stats for the cost of, you know, just 5 Dawns. So he's very good at swinging tempo the turn that if you are able to make that play, then you're getting a lot of time on your opponent, and you know you can be very aggressive with that board. So he's pretty good. Yeah, I'm running only 2 though because green has a lot of higher end cards, and I kind of want to run a mix of all of them. So yeah, just 2 laws, and he's also not a counter, so you don't want to run too many of this guy there. And next we have the 2 Basil Hawkins. I was thinking about running only 1, but I'm so glad I ran 2 because in a lot of matchups, if he's able to stick on the board, he's able to get so much advantage. The only problem with him is that, you know, you play him, and you know, if that's your only play, red can jet pistol it, and you kind of just wasted your turn because he didn't get to attack and get the value. But when he does get to stick, he's just the best card on the field. He's able to, you know, even if your opponent blocks, he's able to restand. That's the best part about Basil Hawkins. So very, very good card. And next we have 1 X-Drake. So yeah, I only wanted to run 1 because his ability in some matchups like purple isn't too relevant, but against red he's very good. So yeah, just because his effect is a little bit situational at times, I'm only running 1, but like I said, you can take out that 1 Raizo and play him, and I think that's perfectly fine. And next we have 2 7-drop kids. Another very, very good card. A bit weak to blue, but very good in all the other matchups. When you drop 7 cost kid, if you're playing against purple, for instance, your opponent has to 10 cost Kaido you. Against red, he's just a very powerful blocker. And, you know, against green, again, he's just a very strong attacker that can also block and, you know, prevent you from dying. And that's how I kind of won one of my matches, is being able to keep attacking with my 7-drop kid, and then when my opponent tried to go for the lethal, I was able to block with this guy, and he kind of saved me. So very, very good card. And next, of course, we have the Boogeyman, the 8-cost kid. So this guy, if you attach a Dawn on him and he's rested, your opponent must attack him. So this is pretty much your game plan for the whole deck, is to be able to play him and protect him at all costs. And his other ability is that you can rest him and then play a character with you know, cost of 3 or less from your hand. So typically you're playing a blocker to kind of protect him so that your opponent can't just attach all their Dawns and then kill him right away. So yeah, very, very good. I'm running 3 because I do want to see him quite often, but I don't want to run too many just so I don't, you know, flood my hand with too many of him, because he's not a counter. And if you have one of them, that's already good enough. You know, you don't want to. It's the turn that you do play him, like you kind of lose time just because you're not able to do a whole lot of impactful things. So yeah, you're kind of better off playing other cards where you can play, let's say like a Hawkins plus a blocker, or like activate Bonnie and things like that. So yeah, just having one of them on the field is good enough, and I think 3 is a good number to see them, most of the time, but not too many of them. And next we have 2 events. So I wanted to run one of each, just because I think they both have pretty good effects, but I just wanted to have more options. So they both kind of help me win. So Punk Gibson is very good. It's a 4K counter. Helps you protect your ACOS kid. Not the turn that you play him necessarily, but if he's able to stick, you can use Punk Gibson to counter out your opponent's attacks. And Paradise Waterfall won me one game just because I was able to be very aggressive with my laws, and then for attacking with, and then Paradise Waterfall lets me restand the law to block one of my opponent's attacks as he was trying to go for the kill. So very I want to say it's like very good, but it's because it's a 2K counter, it's like kind of how do you say it, like mediocre at sometimes. But I would say 1 is a good number to run, just because this effect can come up where you're able to attack with one of your blockers and then restand them, or even like block with one of your big blockers like the 7-draw kid, and then use Paradise Waterfall and make them active again, and then block another attack. Like those kind of things are situational, but they can come up. So I do like running just the 1. So yeah, and I think that's all the cards. So hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. And yeah, I think green is definitely one of the really good decks, like one of the S tier decks of the format. So let me know what you guys thought about my choices in the deck. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Okay guys, so my girlfriend wanted to show off her deck box, so she was using the label maker, and she made a little typo on Captain Kid. So yeah, just wanted to show that off.